Today in Part 8, Section 6 of Vigyan Bhairav Granth, we will describe in detail about the permeation of all the body substances, bones, flesh, etc., by space, considering it as void, etc., as described in Shunya and Akash Bhavana. So let's explore exactly how this solid, heavy matter we call our body can conceptually dissolve into pure, boundless space.
I want you to just sit with this question for a moment. What if your physical form, your flesh and bone, was really just an illusion of density, floating within infinite empty space? From the moment we're born, we're taught to identify with our restrictive boundaries. We constantly feel the inescapable weight and solidity of our bodies. But this ancient wisdom invites a profound shift in perspective. It proposes that what actually feels solidly real to us is predominantly empty space, and perceiving our form as this void, well, it unlocks a gateway to immense freedom.
When we look at the human form, it's not just flesh and bone, is it? It's a dynamic convergence of gross matter and subtle energy. The body is honestly an incredible instrument. It's woven with dense, earthly elements, what Tantric traditions call the tattvas, and it's illuminated by our vital life force. In Kashmir Shaivism, the body is seen as a divine temple. It's the actual laboratory where liberation happens. So understanding it as just a temporary gathering of elements really prepares the mind for transforming it back into its limitless, expansive state.
Karika 47 states this beautifully. Focusing on the body as permeated by the void, one attains the state of the void itself. Now, this 22nd dharana, given by Lord Shiva, doesn't demand any complex rituals from us. By intensely focusing on the physical body as being entirely filled with empty space, the practitioner's consciousness naturally aligns with that emptiness. It's quite simple, really. If you meditate on the infinite void, you attain the unconditioned state of the void itself.
Let's break down these foundational concepts. Shunya translates to the void. Now, this isn't mere nothingness, but rather a space completely free from limitation. And Akash Bhavana translates to space meditation. Together, these terms describe the meditative perception of heavy physical matter as boundless, empty space. It's a deliberate conceptual transformation. We're actively training the mind to look past that superficial solidity and perceive a vast, open expanse instead of just dense tissue and hard bone.
The text beautifully describes the process of dissolving our flesh and bones right into the infinite sky. Now, the mind naturally understands the physical body as an undeniable fact, right? But through focused visualization, we can actually unlearn this solidity. Imagine the very substances that give you weight slowly melting away, expanding outward until they are completely indistinguishable from the sky above. We are actively using our awareness to conceptually dissolve the body, substance by substance.
Let's explore how this transformation fundamentally shifts our reality. If we contrast our normal physical state with the elevated spiritual state achieved through Akash Bhavana, the difference is just profound. Our normal everyday existence is bound and dense, while the spiritual state of the void is totally free and expansive. Our sensation shifts from feeling heavy and mortal to weightless and eternal. And most importantly, our identity transforms from the limited ego, or jiva, into supreme consciousness, or Shiva.
By consciously dissolving the sensation of the physical body, the seeker systematically unplugs from all earthly attachments. Think about it. Almost all our fears and desires are deeply rooted in the physical body. When the body is perceived merely as empty space, what's really left to protect or crave? This specific practice completely severs mortal attachments, clearing away all the noise of the physical world so that we can merge entirely with the unconditioned state of Shiva consciousness.
Within Kashmir Shaivism, this verse holds two incredible tantric secrets. First, it involves the deliberate dissolution of gross bodily elements, which we call tattvas. We're actively visualizing reversing creation itself, dissolving the earth and water of our flesh back into the subtle element of space. The second interpretation is the perfect merging of the microcosm, our individual body, with the macrocosm, the limitless universe. Turning bodily density into space literally collapses the boundaries between the inner person and the outer cosmos.
To truly master this dharana, we have to guide our intellect to understand a profound philosophical distinction. It's the difference between the illusion of matter and the reality of emptiness. Matter always feels so undeniable to us, yet it's actually in a constant state of flux and decay. Emptiness, on the other hand, is formless, unbreakable, and eternally undisturbed. The deep wisdom imparted here is realizing that what feels solidly real is actually the fleeting illusion, while empty space is the only lasting truth.
Now, beyond the pure philosophy, this practice offers tremendous practical relief. Perceiving your body as empty space can actually provide immediate relief from physical pain. Think of it this way. Pain requires density to exist. Visualizing that density as open space effectively removes the pain's anchor. Furthermore, this brings profound psychological peace. That stubborn human ego is drastically reduced when our physical boundaries dissolve, creating a very natural detachment from the daily anxieties of physical survival.
As we move into the actual step-by-step instructions of this ancient practice, it really requires a mindset of openness and deep reverence. This kind of inner alchemy needs careful preparation. The energetic centers along the spine must be balanced and completely calm before the mind can even begin to experience the void. We essentially have to prepare both the physical and energetic vessels to hold this immense realization.
The Vigyan Bhairav isn't just high-level philosophy, it's a highly practical manual. Let's look at the exact steps it lays out to move our consciousness from the gross physical world right into infinite space. The text describes a very deliberate inner journey, gently guiding the practitioner's awareness away from our heavy, dense reality and into the luminous freedom of the void.
The very first stage is about grounding the physical form. The text instructs you to sit perfectly still in a steady, comfortable posture with an erect spine. Next, gently close your physical eyes, effectively withdrawing your vital energy from external distractions. Finally, simply observe your breath. Don't force it, just watch it, until it becomes entirely calm and rhythmic. This completely settles the mind, preparing it for deep concentration.
In the second stage, you have to confront the reality you're preparing to transcend. Bring deep, undivided awareness to the boundary of your skin. Really feel where the body ends. Then, let that awareness move deeper. Feel the heavy density of the muscles and flesh, and sense the solid, unyielding structure of your bones. This step forces a full, unflinching acknowledgement of the body's dense limitations.
Once you've fully recognized this density, it's time to apply the alchemy of Akash Bhavana. Direct your mind to visualize the pores of your skin expanding infinitely. Then imagine pure, formless space seeping into that dense flesh, completely dissolving its heaviness. Finally, perceive your solid bones becoming hollow, porous, and incredibly light. The text is essentially commanding your mind to turn dense matter right into an empty vessel.
The visualization then reaches this critical, sweeping crescendo. You allow your physical boundaries to dissolve entirely. Experience your form dispersing, kind of like a cloud breaking apart in the wind. The final instruction for this stage is to become perfectly transparent, harboring absolutely no solid matter. The goal here is a profound sensation where all bodily boundaries just melt away, leaving behind nothing but light and stunning transparency.
In the final, delicate stage of the meditation, the empty space once contained inside your body seamlessly merges with the infinite space outside. The whole distinction between inside and outside completely vanishes into one continuous expanse. You are then instructed to rest your awareness entirely in this supreme, unbroken void, finding perfect, limitless unity with the cosmos.
To truly understand this merging, ancient Tantric masters used a very powerful visualization. Like a jar broken in the sky, the inner space and outer space become one undivided eternity. Imagine a clay jar for a moment. The space inside and the vast sky outside are separated only by a fragile wall of clay. But when it's shattered, the inner space instantly rejoins the boundless sky. In this dharana, dissolving the physical body, our clay jar, shatters the entire illusion of separation.
As you rest in this state of Akasha Bhavana, a profoundly important realization dawns on you. While the physical form completely dissolves into space, you don't cease to exist. Instead, the center of pure consciousness remains perfectly still, undisturbed, and fully awake in that vast emptiness. The deep realization here is that your true identity was never physical matter to begin with. It is the radiant, witnessing awareness itself.
Maintaining this formless state of shunya leads to an experience of absolute, total freedom. We normally carry around this crushing weight of illness, gravity, and the constant fear of mortality. But in the state of the void, these burdens have absolutely nothing to attach to. The result is this profound unburdening, a complete liberation from the cycles of physical suffering, giving us a true taste of freedom, way beyond the physical realm.
The ultimate fruits of mastering this profound 20-second dharana are deeply transformative. The seeker attains a formless, expansive awareness, completely breaking free from the ego.
By dissolving the self into the cosmic void, we achieve perfect unity with the transcendental state of Lord Shiva. And ultimately, this leads to a total immersion in timeless supernatural peace, rooted firmly in the unchanging emptiness of our true nature.
The physical body, as demanding and heavy as it often seems, is really just a passing shadow on the grand canvas of existence. The void, that silent, weightless, eternal space from which absolutely all things arise, that is our true eternal home. Recognizing this offers us such an incredible tool. When the heaviness of the world starts to feel overwhelming, this concept reminds us that we can always expand our boundaries and tap into the infinite space within.
On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, if you found our presentation informative, please share our video as widely as possible so that the authentic knowledge of Indian Vedic texts can reach the masses. Come, let us all participate in this yagya of knowledge. Har Har Mahadev!